Hey everyone, it's JoJo. I've noticed some of the recent Beyblade releases are being marketed with some type of special ability or gimmick. I'm talking about Leon Claw, Rhino Horn, and VIPER Tail. But do these special abilities or gimmicks actually work? Today we're going to find out. But first, a quick review of each Beyblade. Leon Claw 560 Point is a balanced type Beyblade of attack and defense, and meant to have dual motion. So its special ability lies in its bit. The point bit is flat with a small protruding ball in the center. When launched parallel to the surface of the stadium, it should stay very centered. If launched at an angle, it should move more like an attack type. The point bit can also provide a counter movement. Once attacked by the opposing Beyblade, it should be able to swoop around and strike back. This is very similar to previous generation types such as Fusion and even Coat Sharp, but without the rubber. Rhino Horn 380 Spike is a defense type Beyblade with a very compact design. With the thick metal heavily centered in the blade and the smaller spike bit, Rhino Horn should have a greater center of gravity. It's meant to be able to take on a number of attacks while maintaining its balance and stamina due to its design. VIPER Tail 580 Orb is a stamina type Beyblade, and its ability is one that I am most skeptical about. It's meant to attack downward and drain the opposing Beyblade's stamina. The blade's design is unique, with its downward slopes and protrusion at the end. It even has extra plastic to protect itself from low attacks, since VIPER Tail is taller. The Orbit is a small version of Ball, which is meant to only lightly move around the opponent in hopes to consistently drain their stamina. So will all these gimmicks work? I'll put all three Beyblades against their optimal opponents and try to get the best results. So let's test them out. So we're starting off with Leon Claw. First, a couple of test launches to demonstrate the bit. So as said before, if you launch it parallel to the surface of the stadium, it should relatively stay in the middle. But I think I launched it a little bit too hard. So it should really stay like that. A little bit less power. Should stay in the middle. It's because the point bit has a little bit of a rounded part to it, so it is still going to move around. But if you launch it at an angle, it should reach the extreme line a little bit better. A little bit. So does that work? Kind of, not really. I guess depending on how hard or how weak you launch the Beyblade. So Leon Claw will be battling against Knight Shield, 360 Taper, and Hell Scythe 460 Ball, both of which have pretty solid defense and also counterattack. We're gonna see if Leon Claw has the better counterattack. First battle up against Knight Shield. There's a bit of a counter move there. Oh, that did really fast. Okay, not looking good so far. Giving that one to Leon Claw. I thought Leon Claw had some really nice hits at the beginning, but just did not pull through. Alright, moving on to the next battle against Hell Scythe, 460 ball. Oh, couple of nice counter moves there, but unfortunately it just knocked itself out. Just doing a nice dance around it. Okay, there we go. Even though they didn't hit each other at the beginning, those were the kind of moves I was looking for. It was just about to deliver a really nice hit, but it ended in a self-burst. So what do I think about Leon Claw's special ability so far? It kind of works. It kind of works. It's really cool. I really do like the counter movements when it does work, but it is, you know, of course you can't control it, so it is unpredictable on where it's going to go. When it does happen, when it does perform the way you want it to perform, it looks really, really cool. I think the issue is that the blade is not strong enough for that counter attack. Next up we have Rhino Horn. First, a quick test launch. It is on a spike tip, so it's not quite balanced. Let's try that again. Still very, very wobbly. One more time. Alright, so hopefully, because the spike tip is a bit different than needle, isn't as spike isn't as sharp as needle, it might balance better, but I don't know, just what I've seen of it wobbling around. I guess we'll just have to see, right? So we are going to put Rhino Horn up against pure attack type Beyblades. We have Drawn Sword 360 flat, just stock Drawn Sword, and then Shark Edge 460 low flat. Alright, first battle is up against Drawn Sword. Well then. The only good battle Rhino Horn had. I'm gonna try something different. Instead of launching them at the same time, I want to give Rhino Horn its optimal position and then launch the attack type. So let's just try a couple more. Still lost. are your results? It was improving a little bit, but if you're going to be battling against someone, you're going to have to launch your Beyblades at the same time. Alright, let's move on to Shark Edge 460 low flats. It took quite the beating. I'm surprised it didn't burst or KO. Alright, and there's the KO. Oh, nice. Wow, okay. I'm surprised Rhino Horn didn't jump out of the stadium in that battle. Okay, so what do I think about Rhino Horn so far? Very, very wild. I wouldn't say it has a solid defense. It has more of like a huge counter attack because of all of the ridges all around the blade. I think the biggest problem is the bits. It needs to be changed to something else. It just can't keep itself balanced well enough. And because it is so compact, it's spinning at such a high velocity, and with these ridges, it's going to have a really, really big impact. So I think, again, changing the bits would, to something like maybe even ball, to kind of keep it moving around a little bit, would improve it. And lastly, we have VIPER Tail. This one I am very interested to test out. I am very skeptical about it, but we shall see. First, a test launch. This is the orb bits. So it doesn't move around as much as ball. It's actually quite centered. Let's try a little bit harder. Yeah, that's actually nice and centered. That bit might actually be better for Rhino Horn, honestly. So we're gonna put VIPER Tail up against Wizard Arrow 460 Needle. Ooh, knockouts. Jump there. There was a couple of jumps actually. I think that was because it's due to the little protrusion here on the bottom of the layer. Very, very jumpy. So that destabilization VIPER's trying to do might be a detriment to itself. VIPER won. Again, this was the most I was skeptical about. I'm not sure if it's actually draining the stamina. It's more about destabilizing the other Beyblade. But again, like with the other battle, I'm going to launch them one at a time again, because I want to see VIPER Tail kind of circle around Wizard Arrow. So this is more what I'm looking for. Each pushback is the Beyblade hitting that little protrusion underneath. I think that may have been a tie, I'm not quite sure. So what I think about this, once again, I don't think it's more about draining stamina, it's more about destabilizing. And do I think it works? I think it actually does work, but again, it's kind of a detriment to the VIPER Tail Beyblade itself, because there's a lot of pushback, and it has a chance to even destabilize itself. And this was the one I was most skeptical about. How funny. So after all that, do I think the gimmicks work? To an extent, yes. The point bit on Leon Claw does move the way it's supposed to, but it could be very unpredictable. I also had really high hopes for Rhino Claw, but I was sort of disappointed. It can really take quite a beating, but the bit does need to be changed to something more balanced, such as ball or orb. But Viper Tail was the one that surprised me the most. Again, it's not so much stamina draining, it's more like destabilization through downward attacks, which I think is really great because I find that a lot of people do use lower height Beyblades to protect the ratchet and to prevent itself from bursting. But with Viper Tail, you could use downward attacks and just destabilize your opponent. But of course, luck does play a lot in the world of Beyblade, so it could actually be hurting you more than your opponents. But of course, these are just my opinions, and I'd like to know yours. What are some of your combos that could vastly improve the special abilities of these Beyblades? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll even feature them in a future video. That is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time with more Beyblade. See you soon.